guys, what's going on? It is Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Today I've been saving up for quite a while. You might have noticed in like all of my other videos, I have 10 sacred shards. Now initially I wanted to save up I think like 35 of these and make it the biggest sacred shard opening video on all of YouTube. But yeah, it's gonna be a ton of money and B, a lot of time for me to even get the opportunity to get these sacred shards. So I thought, you know what? I need some more legendary champions anyway. Hopefully we can get one. Let's start out with, I have 11 champion spots open and I have the 10 sacred shards. So we're going to see, just review again the chances here. We have a 6% chance of getting a legendary. So hopefully I'll walk away with one legendary, even though the odds would even be against us for that to happen. Obviously we'll have a lot of epics, and there's quite a few epics I'm really, eager to get inside the game. We'll see if I can get any, but let's start out really quickly with one ancient so that we end up with 100 champions in the in my collection. So there we go, a rare to start things out with. Well, that's the only rare that we will see in today's video. So here we go, sacred numero uno here, and it's an epic and it's a cult brawler, so not too excited about that. But, the Orgrin tribe, I'm kind of excited about that because I need better factions for faction wars. Clan Boss, he gets a 5 rating on Clan Boss. Well, let's take a quick look-see at his skills, guys. It's a 50% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns, so a poison A1, definitely solid, attack-based champion, or HP-based champion, but his first 2 abilities here are attack. This is a long one. I'm not familiar with the cult, but I'm not too familiar with the cult brawler. This can be cooled down, can be booked down to a 3-turn. Attacks 1 enemy if this champion is under 1 or more debuffs. This attack ignores 30% of enemy defense. If this champion is under 2 or more debuffs, enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. If this champion is under 3 or more debuffs, this attack is always critical. If this champion is under 4 or more debuffs, this champion heals by 30%. If 5 or more debuffs, grants an extra turn, removes all debuffs from this champion after the attack. So Curse Eater really is a Curse Eater. Interesting, to say the least, interesting ability. His passive can be ascended, plays a 2.5 poison debuff from this champion for 4 turns at the start of every turn. Plays a 2.5 poison debuff on this champion. Oh, interesting. Has a 70% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff on a random enemy for 4 turns. This is really interesting. Okay, so he puts a debuff on himself for 4 turns at the start of every turn. So that feeds into his A2. Sorry, I'm spending a lot of time on a cult brawler, but I had to really get a feel for him. That's going to be interesting to kind of build out and see how he does against the clan boss for that reason. Combining his passive with his A2 is definitely an interesting combo. So let's go to our next guy, or gal. We have number 2. It's going to be an epic Allure, who I've already unlocked. So let's go to the next one. 2 down, 8 to go. And we get a legendary, baby! All right, we got Mountain King. So I know a lot about Mountain King, but I also know that he's, on paper, one of the worst legendaries in the game. And as you can see, his ranking kind of reflects that. Now, I'm obviously going to build him out as a dwarf champion, but quickly looking through his abilities, attacks 1 enemy, okay. Does a lot of damage, though. His attack is pretty good. His A2 is attacks 1 enemy, damage based on HP and attack. Ignores 50% of the target's defense, which is pretty solid, as a 2 there, and that's based on HP and attack again. That's a 4-turn booked cooldown. His A3 is attack 1 enemy, ignored shield and block damage buffs, and again, based on HP and attack, that's a 4-turn cooldown, again, when booked. And his passive is increases this champion's attack by 50% each time this champion kills an enemy. Stacks up to 100%. Resets every round. Interesting. Okay, cool. I mean, again, not the best legendary, but not bad, right? It is certainly. At least his ratings are awful, but he looks cool. Mountain King, there we go. Let's get another legendary. Can we be greedy? Let's be greedy. Let's get another one. And it's an epic. We have Lady Etessa. I've heard of her before. Attacks 1 enemy based on attack. Attacks one enemy has a 50% chance, 25% chance of placing a block debuff. We have attacks one enemy, it's a 50% chance of placing a stun debuff. And A3 is attack one enemy with 2 random allies. Okay, she has like that attack with the allies. That's how I know her. Nothing too crazy there. Definitely not one of the best epics out there. So 6 left. Here we go with the next one, guys. Give me that legendary. Give me that legendary. Okay, we got the epic, and we have Captain Tamila, an HP-based dark elf. A1 is Bond of Duty. Attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of placing a 15% continuous heal buff on this champion for 1 turn if this is a critical hit. So obviously building out a crit, a strong crit rate would be important. Number A2 here is an ascended skill, places a 60% increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns, heals all allies by 15% of this champion's max HP. Not too bad, but you know, there's much better out there. In A3, plays a 50% ally protection buff on all allies except for this champion for 2 turns. So not too bad. I can get it booked down to 4 turns, but I'm not super excited about it either because there's just other epic champions who do all these things better, like Miscreated Monster comes to mind. Increased ally resist and faction crypts by 45. So not a bad for faction crypts at the very least. Let's go to the next one. Okay, it's an epic, and it is Jotun. He is a barbarian who I need for faction crypts. Again, it's A1, attacks one enemy, 30% chance of placing a decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. Not an awful A1, getting that decreased defense on there. A2 is attacks one enemy as a ascended skill, 75% chance of placing an HP burn debuff for 4 turns. That can be booked to a 3-turn cooldown. 6 levels of booking on that A2 as well. So actually a pretty Burning Blade. I love HP burn, and you can ascend it to 4 turns. That's a long HP burn. So I actually really like that ability. And then his Sear Away, his A3, attack one enemy, decreases the target's max HP by 30% of the damage dealt. Not too bad either. 5-turn cooldown though. So his aura is increase allies, HP, and faction crypts by 29%. So again, probably won't be using him a ton, but not bad though, certainly. Next one, we have another epic. We have Vrask. Vrask, a lot of people love Vrask. So you can see he has a lot of reviews. He gets a 4.8 in Clan Boss, 4.7 campaigns, 4.8. Let's see, anything? That's about it here. Let's see his abilities real quickly. Based on HP, so you're always looking for that out of our champions. Attacks one enemy, fills this champion's turn meter by 20% if this attack is critical. Again, important to build the crit rate on him. His A2 is attacks one enemy, damage based on HP. That's it. Okay, with a 3-turn cooldown too. His A3 better be good, right? Heals his champion by 10% of his max HP when he inflicts a critical hit. And then heals all allies for 10% of his max HP when inflicting a critical hit. Again, not too bad. Decrease allies' defense in dungeons by 33%. So it's interesting. You can build him based on HP, which is really great. So you can make him like really tanky. So like an incredible amount of sustainability on Vrask. And he can do a ton of damage if you build him up with a high attack, high crit rate, high crit damage. Or I shouldn't say high attack, high crit rate and crit damage, but then focusing more on HP. So not a bad champion by any stretch. Definitely will be building him at least to run in faction. 2 more to go. And we have, okay, all right, Infernal Baroness. A defense-based champion, demon spawn, 3 abilities. Ability number 1 is attack all enemies, heals the ally with the lowest HP by 5% of the damage inflicted. Not a bad A1 at all. Probably one of the better A1s in the game. Attacks all enemy and heals the ally with the lowest HP by 5% of the damage inflicted. So an AoE that has a 5% heal on it, and you can increase the damage by, 25% if you book it. Not bad. Number 2 is another AoE on her A2. attacks all enemies, has a 50% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. So a nice debuff in there, can be booked down to 3 turns, and you can get that 50% chance booked all the way up to 75% chance. Not too bad. I would love to be able to book that up to 100%, but maybe I'm being greedy. Her A3 can be ascended, places a Veil buff on an ally for 3 turns, and place a perfect Veil buff on an ally for 3 turns with a 1-turn cooldown to be booked. So not bad. Perfect Veil, obviously one of the better buffs in the entire game, and it can be booked down to 4. So not too bad. I like her. Let's see what kind of rating she gets. Spider's Den with all that AoE, no surprise there. Seems like she's more of a specialist type champion for sure. And here we go. A couple more pulls here, guys. One more shot to get another Occult Brawler. Okay, here it goes. Give me that good legendary. No Mountain King. No Mountain King. We don't get it. So Mountain King was the only legendary we get, but we get Maeve, an attack champion. Not a lot of reviews on her, but they're all bad. So she seems to be one of the worst. Just by the reviews, one of the worst epics. Let's take a look at her skills here. Attacks one enemy, 40% chance of placing a sleep debuff for 1 turn. Damage based on attack. Attacks one enemy, has a 40% chance of placing a sleep debuff for 1 turn. Has a 50% chance of granting an extra turn if the sleep debuff lands. And you can get that chance, the debuff chance, up to a 50% with a book. Okay, not a bad A1. Attacks one enemy. It's semi-rare to have the ascended skill on the A1, which I kind of like. Attacks one enemy, has a stun debuff for a target for 2 turns if the target is under a sleep debuff. So kind of combos with the A1. Meh. And then the last one is attacks one enemy. Enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. Okay, that's it. You can see why she doesn't get the best ratings there, but I don't know, maybe not too bad of a kind of single target champion, maybe depending on what kind of damage you can book her on or with artifacts and stuff. But so there we go, guys. That's going to be the video. Now I have all my pack offers here. I can't say I was too excited with these pulls, just, you know, considering how long it took me to save up those 10 sacreds. Oh my god. But either way, you know, we did get Mountain King, so maybe we'll just test him out, build him out, and do a review on him if you guys are interested, and maybe a couple of the epics that I pulled as well. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll have more pulls. Maybe we'll try to run up this next time in terms of the sacred shards. Maybe I'll save up more than 10 and expect that in a week or 2. So guys, thank you again for watching. Subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it, guys, and let me know what you think of these champions. Am I underrating anybody? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Thank you, and as always, take care, guys.